Hey, what is happening, folks? Hope it's a great start to the weekend for all of you. It's day number 18 of the 30 videos in 30-day challenge, and today I actually thought we could just dive straight into it. So today's topic is going to be on how training and running for long distance events is exactly like starting and building an online business of your own long term. So I really got thinking on my long run today, just how similar the two are. And that's really because you literally have nothing to do but think for hours when you're actually on the long runs, which are either broken into double headers, which in English, that means part of your training is on a Saturday and part of your training is on a Sunday, or just one full run on either a Saturday or a Sunday. You know, personally, I like to break it up, or else I'll be a complete write-off on a Monday and highly unproductive. So I find the balance is actually good this way. Now, funnily enough, everyone thinks that the way you smash the long distance events, anything over 42 Ks on the flats, and I would argue anything 30 plus in the mountains, because that is next level intensity, is with cranking the tank and running distance over and over again, right, and pounding in the mileage. But the truth is, the quality work and the work that really builds overall strength, endurance, mobility, performance, etc., is all going to happen in that 5 kilometer zone. So don't ever underestimate the power of running 5 kilometers. It's in all the other work you're doing to support the end goal, right? So my training consists of a lot of different elements. I have one easy run a week where you keep your heart zone super low and steady, and basically just put in the reps consistently. And then the other training session during the week is either going to be a hill repeat session to get the work in on the legs with the incline and the declines, and hitting different areas of your muscle groups, and building your cardio game for when you hit long periods of the elevation change that you get in the mountains. Or on alternative weeks, you get some speed work in, which is normally tempo work to max out your heart and bring it back down. And both of those sessions are normally within an hour or so on the clock, which is plus minus 5 to 7 kilometers. I also currently hit 4 strength sessions a week. So I do one full body session, I do one leg session, I do a chest and shoulders session, and I do a tricep and bicep. I also have a prehab and ab work, which is all just to make sure that I'm getting quality work in on my ankles and my knees and my abs, and so that my core functionality is actually working as well. I do 2 yoga sessions currently, 2 long runs, which is the one on the Saturday and the one on the Sunday, 4 pre-runs, which is really where you're warming up your muscles and everything before you go and do any sort of runs. So my training schedule is intense, right? And the other key areas that I focus on with all of it is my rest. I really have to have quality rest, so I aim for anything between 7 and 9 hours of sleep per day. I focus on a lot of recovery. Mondays and Fridays are off completely. I don't do anything. Hydration is massive. I have to be getting enough liquid in my body, water primarily, but electrolytes as well, and nutrition, because ultimately all of those things are the tools that support you when you're out there for hours and hours at a time. And lastly, the other key area I focus on is data collection, because ultimately that's how you become better at everything, is to actually have key data to take away, test, tweak, try out, etc. Now let me tell you that the very first kilometer I ran in 2020, I actually thought I might die. My lungs felt like they were going to pop. I had an intense headache immediately when I got out there, and my body ached in places I didn't even know existed. Hydrated, and yes, that was all after just 1 kilometer. And I was actually fairly fit at the time, because I'd been lifting weights for the better part of 4 or 5 years at that stage. But it's just a whole other battle with your body. By the end of the year, with the accumulation of all of that volume, I hit my personal best of 52 kilometers in around 14 hours. I'm not even sure what the elevation gain was, but it's just insane to think about. And it's kind of how I felt out there today. Back when I started to crank up mileage on the long runs in March, a 12 kilometer was taking, I'd say, around 2.5 hours to complete. And I've brought that right down to 90 minutes today. My hydration was on point, and I have a good idea of what I need per hour, whereas in March I wasn't sure. I actually was undercarrying water and then overcarrying water, which was really heavy on the back. I've tested a huge amount of food groups to see what works out there, and also know when I have to eat and what's going to be most effective, which I didn't know before. I was leaving the time that I had to eat far too long, whereas I should be eating anywhere between 25 and 35 minutes, so really got that nailed down. I was also on like a 50-50 split with a walk and a run, especially on the hills. I was really struggling to get that momentum. And I've brought that up to about 80-20. So I'm doing a lot less walking up the hills and doing a lot more running. So I'm getting a lot more leg turnover, which is amazing. And just overall, the performance is better and I feel better about the run, and I come out of there, I don't feel like I'm dying. So lots to work on still, but you can see that after putting in the reps over long periods of time, what a difference that can actually make to your overall performance. I think the key thing to take away from most things we're working on in life is we cannot avoid the work we need to do in order to reach a specific result, right? And that although hitting that end goal always feels amazing, the only way to repeat it and get better at it is to go back and do the work. Which brings me straight back to our online businesses, right? The very first piece of content I wrote, I thought I might die. It was highly uncomfortable, okay? I didn't know if I actually sounded right or if my message was coming across the right way, and if I would actually reach an audience at all. And same as every other step I've ever taken in my business, the conversations were challenging. You know, it felt like I was pulling teeth in trying to get a bit of traction and momentum in the DMs with folks and build relationships, right? Crafting and making offers, don't even talk about it. It was really, really challenging part of my business. Building assets was something I didn't even think about until 2 years into the game. You know, when a training session I had with one of my mentors triggered something in my head to build assets, right? Creating a course. All of these things were really, really challenging. You know, coaching other online entrepreneurs, another one. Investing thousands of dollars in myself. All of those things when I first started them really made me feel absolutely uncomfortable and like I was never going to get past a point where I was actually succeeding with it, right? So those are just a few of the things that you need to consistently work on to actually hit the end goal in your online business. And no matter what it is you hit, okay, be it your first 10K, you know, your first 100K online, your first 75K in client results, okay, a sold out offer, if you actually want to go on and repeat it and get better at it, faster at it, master the game, you actually have to continue to do the work, right? So I think the message for you today is this, okay? Quit avoiding the work you know you need to do to hit your online goals. You know, keep showing up, putting in the reps, even if they don't make sense, and even if they're feeling painful in the process, because you will get to the finish line, okay? You are going to get better, and you will want to go again once you actually know how to get there. So that's it today, folks. You know, I hope this gives you something to think about with how to approach the action steps in your business. You know, obviously, if it helped, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and like this video, and we'll catch up with all of you tomorrow for day 19. Hope you have a fab Saturday, folks, with whatever you're doing. Peace out. We'll catch up tomorrow.